Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll be getting started with our student financial assistance presentation in just a moment. Please feel free to use the chat function to ask any questions, and we'll go ahead and get started in a few minutes.
Hello, Dina. Hope you're staying nice and dry under this wet conditions today.
Hello, Rick. I'm
Yep,
good. I'm good. I'm
this is
hoping you're
good.
well as well.
Yeah, staying dry. A little bit windy out here. Maybe that's normal, but hopefully no interruptions, and we'll be able to share everything we know about financial aid with our participants out there today. So whenever you're ready, I'll be ready.
All right. Well, we can go ahead and get started. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce Rick Colon from Student Financial Assistance. You can go ahead and take over. Present. All right.
Great. Thank you for that, Dina. And good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. Hopefully you are all safe at home, staying dried up, at least here in Florida, in the immediate area here in Central Florida. It is packing pretty much rain out here, and the wind just started picking up a little bit. But hopefully that's not nothing big. And what I'll be presenting to you here today will be a little bit bigger as far as information that will be relevant to you that you can use today and in the future with all things financial aid. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on that. So today I'll be talking to you about the student financial assistance here at UCF. And a few things that you'll be learning about the financial aid here is the financial aid process, the types of aid that we have available to you, the students, and a few things to remember, very important things to remember when it comes to financial aid. So, what is the financial aid process? Well, as you know, to qualify for financial aid, students, federal financial aid, you are required, or you will need to complete, I should say, the free application for federal student aid. The Fafsa, as many of us know this, becomes available each year, October 1st. So for next year, which begins in the fall, you want to go ahead and go onto the Fafsa website and go ahead and submit that FAFSA now. That is for next fall, which is the 2021 2022. For that FAFSA, you're going to be using 2019 tax return information. So you're using 2 years prior for that information to complete the FAFSA. I just saw a question out there. Someone asked, what is the federal school code for UCF? And as you can see on your screen, that number is 003954. It's very important, students, guests, parents. This is the number that you want to use if you're planning on coming to UCF. With that number, we'll be able to receive the FAFSA once you are admitted and accepted to UCF and determine what your federal financial aid is. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the federal financial aid as we go along. Now, again, the FAFSA does become available on October 1st. Now, we have what's called a priority date of December 1st. And what does that mean? That is not a deadline, students and guests. This is basically if you submit your FAFSA on or before the December 1st priority date, you will be automatically considered for other types of financial aid. For example, the UCF grant, which ranges anywhere between it could be 500 to upwards of $1,500 or more. These funds are very limited, though, and it's given on a first come, first serve to the neediest of students first. Now, there are a lot of needy students out there, so to be fair, any student who submits their FAFSA on or before December 1st, hopefully before December 1st, will automatically be considered for these awards. They'll be given the most consideration. There's no guarantee, though, that by you submitting that FAFSA before that date that you will get it, but at least submitting it before, like I said, you will be given that maximum consideration. So if you haven't done so already, go out there. There's still time. Submit that 2021 2022 FAFSA. Submit it so that we can receive it before that priority date. If you're planning on coming in for the summer, you want to submit the 2020 2021 FAFSA, and that one uses the information, tax information from 2018. So again, next fall, 2021, 2022 is the FAFSA you want to use. If you're coming in this year, which is this fall, spring, summer, most likely in the summer, you're going to use the 2020, 2021 FAFSA. When you submit again the FAFSA, as you can see here, you're going to use the 2018 for the 2021, 2019 for the 2022. Now you got to apply every single year if you are interested in federal financial aid. One FAFSA will not do it for you for the remainder of the time that you are in a university. So every year, October 1st, the new FAFSA becomes available. Go out there and apply. Make sure you go to the official website. This is the official website that you see on the screen there. There are a lot of websites out there that do promise you or guarantee you that they will get you financial aid if you go through them, but they will charge you a fee. And the financial aid that they can't guarantee you, and they don't tell you up front, is a unsubsidized loan, which I'll be talking to you a little bit more about that as we go along the presentation. But it is a loan that you have to repay that back. And any student who enrolls in half-time or more at any university that has a Title IV university or who's eligible for federal aid will automatically qualify for an unsubsidized loan. So again, keep that in mind. This is the official website you want to go to. Go out there October 1st every year when it becomes available, or if you can, make sure you submit it before that December 1st priority date. Students who are currently a Florida resident student and you're coming to UCF, what is going to cost you to come to UCF should you decide to not live with parents if you're living on campus or off campus? Your total cost of attendance for this current year, which might change a little bit next year, but for this year, for an in-state student, it's going to cost about $22,424. This cost of attendance consists of tuition and fees, room, board, transportation, books, personal expenses. So that total cost of attendance encompasses at a minimum 14 credit hours up there. So the tuition and fees, that right there is roughly about 14 credit hours. For an in-state student, per credit hour, it's going to cost about $212.28. If you're an out-of-state student, it's going to cost you a little bit more. As you can see here, for non-Florida residents, for the fall and spring budget, your cost of attendance is roughly $37,450. And as you can see here, the major difference is your tuition and fees. Your room, your board, transportation, books, relatively all that is um, doesn't change. It's basically the same. So whether you're in state or out of state, wherever you decide to live, that rent, they do not charge you more, if you will, or less for being an in-state student or an out-of-state student. But again, basically, your cost of attendance is going to be about $37,450. So what types of aid is available here at UCF that you, the student, can apply for to assist you with that cost of attendance? There are many types of aid that we offer. For example, the scholarships for in-state students, Florida resident students. There are scholarships recognized as the Florida Bright Futures. For any student, in-state or out-of-state, you might be eligible for the UCF Pegasus Scholarship, which is awarded from the undergraduate admissions. Your college or major may also offer scholarships and private scholarships, whether you're back at home, your church, your organization, your parents, where they work, their corporation HR, if you will, they might be offering scholarships as well. So check those places. We have grants, need-based grants such as the federal Pell Grant, the Federal Student Educational Opportunity Grant, the Florida Student Assistance Grant, the UCF grant, and many more grants out there that we offer. Now, with the exception of the federal Pell Grant, the remaining grants that you have there, again, these range anywhere between $500 to $1,500 or more. And a lot of students do qualify for, I should say, a lot of students have eligibility for these awards, but do not qualify because they submit the FAFSA one day after the priority date. That's all it takes is one day after that, and you may not be considered for that. So you will not be considered for these awards. So again, students, I can't stress it enough. You've all heard the phrase early bird gets the worm. So go out there, get the FAFSA done. There's really no need for you to wait to get the FAFSA done. So get it out of the way as soon as you can. Work study, a lot of students have eligibility for this, but just like these grants, there is a priority date for the work study. So again, make sure you submit that FAFSA early. Great program. And basically what work study is that you, the student, get to work on campus. Hopefully, once this pandemic passes over, um, if you are a work study recipient, you will be able to get a job. Hopefully, in your career path, anywhere on campus, whether it's at Rosen or at the downtown branch or the Orlando, the main UCF campus, anything in your field that an office is hiring, you can work basically there using work study funds. And the way it works basically is, let's say the average students usually receive about $5,000 for the year. So you get a job at an office at Rosen and you are hired by them and your pay rate is, let's just say, I don't know, $10 an hour. Every time you work, and you add those $10 per hour per the week, you you get a paycheck every other week directly from that program. So that $5,000 every week, if you work 5 hours, that's $50. Then $50 comes off of that 5,000. You don't get it all in one lump sum, but it comes off that payroll, that lump sum, if you will, every other pay period. If you will, just like a normal UCF employee, you get a check directly from the work study program. And as I said earlier, every single student will be eligible for a non-need based loan, which is a federal direct Stafford unsubsidized loan. The need-based loan is the subsidized loan. That is the one where the government waives the interest for you. And there's also the parent plus loan, where the parent can actually apply for a loan to assist their students with some of the expenditures, if you will, for that it costs them to come to UCF. The grants, the federal Pell Grant Program is the largest of the federal student aid grant programs and provides a foundation of financial aid to which which assistance from other federal and non-federal sources, non-federal sources may be added. And as I said, this is the biggest one out there. It's roughly 63 plus, 6,300 plus dollars that a student may be eligible for, that can qualify for that. The Pell Grant does not have a priority date. There is a date for the FAFSA, which is June 30th of every year, but you want to go ahead and submit the FAFSA early either way, because that way the Florida Student Assistance Grant, you can qualify for that one. This is a state program. This one is probably anywhere between 1,200 to 1,500. You also have the Federal Student Educational Opportunity Grant, and as you can see there, it ranges between $100 to $1,200. If you visit our financial aid website, as you see here, you'll be able to see more information about these grants, more details about them, how to qualify for them, disbursement information, and all that on our financial aid website. So I encourage you, student, parents, and guests, feel free to visit our website to learn all things about financial aid here at UCF. The Florida Bright Futures is an award that is awarded to Florida students who graduated from a Florida high school, I should say. So if a student graduated from a Florida high school here, the Florida Department of Education determines your eligibility based on your SAT scores, I believe. They also look at your community hours if you had like um, I can't even think of the word right now, but that you go out into the community and you give back to the community. They look at all those features. I would encourage you to visit the Florida Bright Futures website so that if you have any questions, because they manage the Florida Bright Futures, they can answer those questions directly. Our office, what we do is we go out to the state and we ask them for a list of students who come to this university and ask them Are they eligible for it and which one it is? Which is why it's very important, student, if you are a Florida Bright Future recipient, that you notify the Florida Bright Futures that you're coming to the University of Central Florida. Just like the FAFSA has a federal code, Florida Bright Futures also has a state university code. So make sure you select that code. It's right there. When you add it to it, you add the University of Central Florida, select the correct terms, submit it. Once you're admitted to UCF, we'll get that master eligibility list. And if you are eligible for, depending on which one it is, we'll go ahead and post it onto your account. Bright Futures is not forever. Bright Futures will help fund up to 100 or assist with 120 credit hours or graduation. A lot of students, they come up to me and they say, I'm doing a double major, I'm doing a major, I'm doing a minor. Will Bright Futures cover all of that? I said, this is what Bright Futures says. Bright Futures will only help you up to 120 credit hours or graduation, whichever one comes first. If you obtain your all your degree requirements and you've reached that, Bright Futures will cease. If you have not obtained all your degree requirements and you're at 120 credit hours, Bright Futures will cease as well. Now, there are some programs out there, some degrees, for example, engineering, that usually requires a little bit more than the 120. You can get a letter from your academic advisor sent over to us stating that this particular degree and this particular path that this student is, not in a dual major or minor, but in that particular program, the student requires 124, 128 credit hours to obtain all the requirements to graduate. If that is your case, we get that memo from your academic advisor and we submit the recommendation over to the Department of Education here in Florida or the Florida Bright Futures. This current year, 2020-2021, the Florida Academic Scholars is paying 100% of tuition and applicable fees. Again, that's 100% of tuition and applicable fees, which is $212.28. If you are a Florida academic recipient, to this year currently, Florida Academics is also awarding you a $300 stipend. That $300 stipend can be used to assist with these other fees that normally the Florida Bright Futures does not cover in its entirety. And the Florida Medallion pays 75% of tuition and applicable fees. So if you break it down to 75, that's about 157, $158 per credit that Bright Futures is going to award you for every credit that you enroll in. Now, the minimum hours that Bright Futures requires in order for you to receive Bright Futures, in order for you to receive that, you got to enroll in no less than 6 credit hours. 6 credit hours or more, Bright Futures will kick in. Bright Futures says that whatever you enroll in and they pay for, they assist with, that you are required to complete that course. If failure to complete that course, you may be subject to losing the Florida Bright Futures. Again, our financial aid website has that information. The Florida Bright Futures also has more details on that. So students, I encourage you to go out there and look for those for that information so that you get familiar with what are your rights and your responsibilities to keep these awards. One of the greatest quotes out there that I like to use when it comes to scholarships is from Thomas Edison. And I think Thomas Edison says it best: our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is to always try just one more time. So basically, imagine if Thomas Edison back in his days had tried 99 times to look for or to create that bulb and gave up on his 99 tribe, we probably, maybe not, but we probably be sitting in the dark right now, or at least in those times, right? It was that one more push, that one more try, that 100th time that Thomas Edison gave it a shot. And here we are, we have light now through a light bulb and we can see in the dark. Well, students and parents, this is what I would like you to do. You want to apply this when you're searching for scholarships. On our website, there's a link that's called Access to Opportunity. And I'll talk to you more about that as we go along. But anywhere out there, whether it's your community or religious organization, internet, fastweb.com has over 600,000 scholarship opportunities out there for you. You got to go out there and you got to give it a shot and see what you can try for your businesses. Like, for example, if your parents work at a business or a corporation, ask them to speak with their HR and see if they have any scholarships available through them. Prior to coming to UCF, I worked in banking for about 18 years, and it wasn't until my last years there that I was able to find out that they were giving out a $2,500 scholarship for us employees whose students were going out to a college or university. Granted, it wasn't here you go, they had to apply for it, but I didn't know that. So it's possible that where your parents work, they might also be offering you or the parents some type of scholarship opportunities such as like the ones that we have, which is called access to opportunities. This is a great resource. As a matter of fact, as a student, you not even have to be a UCF student to go on to this website. This website basically is available 24/7. And what you do is you go on to our website, click on the access to opportunity. If you become, once you become a knight, the cool thing about this is you click on the sign in feature. Once you click on there, you enter a few or you answer a few questions, and the system will automatically start looking for scholarships that you could potentially qualify for. Now, you can get over, 10, 20, 40 scholarship opportunities, or you can get nothing. In either case, I encourage you, students, parents as well, go onto this website and click on the link right here that reads opportunities. From there, you're going to select external. And it is on the external link where you're going to find all sorts of scholarships. Now, granted, this is going to take a little bit time from you, the student, to go out there. And I do understand a lot of the students who are getting ready to go to college and in their senior year, a lot of the students today, a lot of us are very busy. We're very busy with priorities, more important things. TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, a lot of these priorities, right? I want to bring up to light to you students and parents, if you will, a little research that MIT did some few years back about how much time a person spends on the internet doing absolutely whatever, whether it's, I don't know, Netflixing and chilling, Huluing, I don't know, whatever it is, but they figured that the average person spends about 24 hours online every single week. So that could be us. Maybe we spend a little more, maybe we spend a little less. The point of the matter is, students, especially students, what I need you to understand is you want to take that time and understand that your time is very, very valuable now. It's always been valuable. Your time is money. And in business, the three cliches is that we know is that in order for you to make money, you have to do what? You got to spend money, right? We got to spend a lot of money to make more money. We don't have that kind of money lying around right now to do that. But what we do have is time, or at least 24 hours of our time. If we cut some of that, maybe in a quarter or something, that we can spend that time is money, then I can spend my money to make money by going onto this website and looking at every single scholarship here. And I say every single one because we've all heard the phrase, you never judge a book by its cover. Well, students, when you're looking for scholarships, you want to apply that as well. I'll give you an example. Hypothetically, let's say that there's um, the National Men's um, uh, Golf Association is giving out a $1,500. I look at that title. I don't know golf. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I don't play golf or anything. I'm not going to apply for it. But when I click on it, the details as far as what the requirements are, they're probably only asking is that a student be enrolled full time at any university and that the student has a FAFSA on file. Well, geez, that's probably the majority of you guys out there already. But because we looked at the title and only the title and assumed that it's not for us, well, we lost out on that opportunity. Access to opportunities gives you that opportunity, gives you that time, gives you the time for you to go on here and spend at least once a week, every week. Because the third cliche in business says that if you're not making money, what are you doing? You're losing money. You're losing time. You're wasting time. You're wasting money. I'm sure we've all heard it. Growing up, I've heard it from my parents. I'm sure you guys are hearing it too. They constantly remind us, stop wasting time. Get your chores done. Stop wasting time. Get your homework done. Stop wasting time. Do this and do that. Well, time again, students, is money. So I recommend going to fastweb.com, going to our website here once a week, every week. And Rosen Hospitality has actually joined in here as well. So there's plenty of scholarships on there from them that'll be coming in pretty soon. So again, don't just focus on your career, your path, or whatnot. Look at every single one on here. Look at the qualification and know that you may qualify for it if you read what the entire description is on there. And like I said, you might apply for 10 and 30 will come back and say, you know what, you don't qualify. So it's qualify for any of these. So it's very discouraging. And I could understand that, you might get frustrating writing essay after essay after research, after this, after that. And you're like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. But remember, just like Thomas Edison, 99 tries. Had he given up, we'd all be in the dark. So don't be in the dark, students. Just like a knight, and hopefully you all become knights, you'll continue charging on looking for these scholarships. Because if you don't go for scholarships, then you could probably go for something maybe a lot more simpler, which are loans. Right off the bat, like I said at the beginning of the presentation, every student out there could potentially qualify for an unsubsidized loan of $5,500 your first year here. Your second year, you're going to qualify for about $6,500. Your third and your fourth year here, you're probably going to qualify for another $7,500 each. Now, students, if all you do is take out loans, because it's very easy to take out a loan, complete a FAFSA, enroll in 6 credit hours or more, meet satisfactory academic progress, and here's your loan. Check the box, it's yours. It is that easy to take out a loan. No essays, no homework, no research, no nothing. But if all you do is take out loans before you graduate, it's quite possible that you might be in debt of at least $31,000. And it's very easy to get into that debt. And it gets even worse if all you qualify for is the unsubsidized loan. What is the unsubsidized loan? That is the one where the government does not waive the interest for you while you're in school. As soon as that check disperses out, that interest starts accruing. On our website, you can go on our website and actually look at what that interest is right now. I believe it's somewhere in the 4.0 something range. There's also a processing fee that they will charge you up front for every time you take out a loan. And again, it's the unsubsidized that every student can qualify for, but the interest is not waived. Now, the subsidized loan, that is the one where the government does waive the interest for you. Now, not every student is going to qualify for this one. It is a need-based loan. Not all students will qualify. And again, to qualify students, you got to make sure that you submit that FAFSA, submit the FAFSA on time. And if push comes to shove and you've tried all these scholarship opportunities, well, maybe the first year here, you can go ahead and do the loans, if you will. But again, these loans are here to assist you. These are loans that you need. These are not loans that you want. And I say this because you don't need your parents' permission to take out this loan. Absolutely not. It's not based on your credit or anything like that. And parents, I need to make you aware of this because these loans will rack up pretty quick. So definitely sit down with your students. Let them know that this loan needs to be repaid back. If they got to take out the loan, only take out what you need. So just because you qualify for $5,000, but you have a balance that you need to pay up of $2,000, doesn't mean you got to accept the entire $5,000 amount. Only take out what you need. And it's probably very simple because UCF, we highly keep safe, if you will, our students' information. The Family Educational Rights of Privacy Act. There's very little information that we can disclose to anyone over the phone, much less any third party. So students and parents, remember this record release authorization. Once you become a knight, students, you can authorize a third party, yourself or your parents, that we can speak to them over the phone. But if there's no record release authorization on file, parents, we're very limited to the information that we can disclose to you. And if you're asking us, did my son or daughter take out a loan? That information can only be disclosed to the students in person, or the student can go onto their MyUCF and check that. But one little tip I can tell you is that, you can basically find out if your son or daughter might be taking out a loan that they don't need sometime during spring break in the coming years. Why? Because you'll probably get that phone call from your son or daughter, probably saying, hey, mom, guess where I'm at? I'm over here in Puerto Rico. I'm over here in Cancun. I'm over here in California. And my spring break, you're like, wow, how did you get there? My best friend helped pay my way. Well, who's your best friend? Well, the bank, or it could be Wells Fargo, Citibank, Chase, Bank of America, or anything like that. This is a loan, like I said, and it's a loan to help you with your expenses at universities and colleges for tuition. It is not for you to just take out just because you qualify for it. If you absolutely need it, then go ahead and take that loan out. Parents, especially the parents who are from out of state, who are non-Florida residents, you can qualify for a federal plus loan. If you're an out-of-state student, you will see on your MyUCF a plus loan being offered to you. That amount is being offered to you, but it's not to you, the student. It is showing that your parents may be able to qualify for the plus loan. By checking the box, actually, you won't even have access to check that box for you to accept that loan. All it's doing is letting you know that if you're interested in taking out a plus loan, then go ahead and request a plus loan for this amount here. Because what a plus loan is a loan under the parent's name based on their credit. And if it's approved, we, the university, our financial aid office, we process that loan by certifying it up to the student's cost of attendance minus any other aid that's already been applied. As an example, a student's cost of attendance for out-of-state students is about $37,000, right? And let's say the student receives, I don't know, $10,000 in financial aid. That leaves them with a balance of 27. However, you went up and you as a parent and you applied for a Parent Plus loan and you were approved for 40,000. That loan comes to us. We're only going to certify it for up to 27,000. Again, their cost of attendance minus financial aid, whatever's left is what we can go ahead and certify that loan. For more information, parents, you can go ahead and visit our website here and read up on that. The process, how long it takes, how long for, or how far out you should be applying for this loan if you need it. But again, students and parents, if you keep searching as of today for these scholarships, whether it's through FastWeb or Access Opportunities, I can almost guarantee you that you will not receive any of these loans. You won't have to take out any of these loans out there. So keep searching for those out there, keep applying, and that way you can receive these scholarships instead of these loans. And this is what it's going to look like when you visit our website when it comes to the Parent Plus loan. Now, you have all this financial aid, and you want to receive this financial aid in time. Students, it is very, very, very important. You got to check your night's email. We're constantly reminding students to check their financial aid to-do list. Once you become a UCF Knight, you're going to have a MyUCF portal. And in that MyUCF portal, there are going to be documents on your to-do list that may be required for you to turn into our office. If you don't turn in those documents into us prior, I would say probably 60 days before the beginning of semester, your financial aid is going to be extremely, extremely delayed. I have a lot of students right now who were, for example, selected for a process called verification, and they are submitting their documents now, and their financial aid is not going to be ready until way, way the end of the semester. When I say that, is that their financial aid is not going to disperse. They may not get dropped from their courses, but they will incur a late fee. They may need that financial aid for other expenditures, whether it be books, room and board, or what have you. So for that information to disperse on time, students check that night's to-do list so that you can go ahead and submit that. So if you are, for example, selected for the verification process, that process by submitting these documents early takes about maybe 15, maybe 20 days max, or 4 weeks, if you will. Um, 20 days, 20 days or 4 weeks, if you will. Submit those documents to us through our financial aid website. And if you are selected for verification, you will see this on your to-do list. When you click on that to-do list, it's going to give you a set of instructions on how you can move forward to complete that item on the to-do list. The majority of the students that come into the university as a freshman, you're going to be considered a dependent student. And basically, what that means that on that verification worksheet, we're going to need both you and your parents' information. Not all students will be selected for the verification process. But again, if you are, you need to check your to-do list once a week, every week until the financial aid disperses. Turn in that document, submit the document by completing whatever you need to complete as the student, you submit it. Your parents shortly thereafter will receive an email communication to log into the dynamic form section, if you will, where they log in and complete their portion, sign it, and submit it. Before you have access to the dynamic forms, you got to make sure that your night's email has been activated. And again, early bird gets the worm. If you submit your FAFSA and if you are admitted to UCF and you accepted, sometime between February and March is when we start notifying students, A, what kind of financial aid they may be eligible for, and B, if they are selected for verification. Turning in their documents early at that time, I could almost guarantee you that by June, July, your file is ready. Come the second week of August, that's when your financial aid disperses out. So definitely any documents that you have on your MyUCF to-do list, you can also use the document and file upload tool. If you're having difficulties submitting those documents electronically, you can go ahead and submit them this way as well. So again, check those and check them often because it is very easy to forget. The document and file upload, there's no reason for you to come into the office. If you're far away or across the street, this is all you need to do is go ahead and fill this out and submit the documents this way. We'll receive it. And whatever you submit to the office, make sure you put in your UCF ID number. That is how we get to identify who you are, not your NID, but your UCF ID. And you'll learn more about that once you come to the university and get to your orientation and whatnot. Enrollment, your financial aid cannot disperse, again, until we can verify your enrollment. A lot of the financial aid, like I said earlier, for example, Bright Futures and the Stafford loans, they require at least half-time or more enrollment in order for you to receive it. There are other scholarships out there, other awards that require more than that. For example, the UCF Pegasus requires that every single semester you enroll in no less than 12 credit hours, and by the end of that academic school year, you complete at least 24 credit hours or more. And by complete, we mean that you got to have a D or more. Anything with a withdrawal, anything with a drop, NCs or Fs or anything like that will disqualify you from being eligible for those awards in the future. So visit our website and look at the program eligibility chart so that you know what is the minimum that you have to enroll in to receive the aid. Every single semester, if you're receiving federal aid, we need to make sure that you're academically engaged in those courses in order for us to disperse the funds. If we do not receive academic activity from your professors, the financial aid that you show up there, federal financial aid, whether it be the Pell or loans, might go away until or adjust until we receive from your professors that you're actually engaged in the course. And by engagement, it could be taking your attendance, if you will. That usually happens the first week of classes. So make sure that whatever information you have out there, the professor definitely takes your attendance and submits that information. Disbursements, like I said, do not happen until the second week of classes, and they only happen if all of your financial aid is ready to go. So keep that in mind, students. Submit documents early. Any financial aid that you're eligible for will disperse automatically, with the exception of the loans. If you want loans or the work study, you need to take action to either accept or decline those awards. Any financial aid that you have in excess will be sent to you in the form of a refund, either direct deposit or mailed to whatever mailing address you have on your MyUCF. If you're receiving financial aid, your financial aid can help defer your tuition. The second week of classes, that is usually when this tuition is owed. At that time, if your financial aid is not ready to disperse, any financial aid that you have can help push that fee payment deadline back to a later date, about 60 days later. So instead of owing it on the second week of classes, your financial aid will help push that back to a later date. Huge convenience when it comes, especially if you have items pending on your to-do list that your financial aid doesn't disperse. Know that as long as you have financial aid, your tuition can be deferred to a later date. If you need financial aid, let's say that you are receiving financial aid, but you're not getting your refund until a lot later in the semester, and you need some funds to purchase your books, go ahead and use the short-term advance. This form becomes available 30 days before the beginning of the semester. It's an electronic form. Complete it, fill it out, and if approved, you can request up to $600 in advance of your financial aid refund. The other method is the textbook purchase program, and this one, similar to the short-term advance, you can get upfront up to $600, but you use, instead of a form, you're using the UCF ID card. You have to make sure that it is a valid UCF ID card for you to receive the okay, if you were the approval. Once it's approved, about 48 hours after it's been approved, you can go to any on-campus bookstore, whether it's at UCF Maine, at the Rosen, or the downtown office, the downtown branch, I believe, and show them your UCF ID card, and then you can purchase your books using that, again, after it's been approved. Few things to remember, guys, all right? Make sure that you complete the FAFSA every single year. FAFSA becomes available October 1st. No reason to wait. Go ahead and submit it, get it done. And if you can't, try to get it done prior to December 1st so we can go ahead and at least consider you for the majority of the awards out there if you have the eligibility. Pay attention to the deadlines. Deadlines, whether it's on your to-do list or your night's email, that is the most effective way that we have right now communicating with our students is through the night's email. Visit our website. Any questions after today's presentation, any questions, concerns, or anything like that, our contact information will be out there. You can go ahead and check that out. Visit the Access to Opportunity website and apply for these scholarships as best you can, as much as you can. These are our hours of operation. The 5:30 is actually not all the way through yet because of the pandemic, but Monday through Friday, we're on call, if you will, 9 to 5. You can email us, or if you have any documents, go ahead and fax us those documents that you have as well. From all of us here at the Financial Aid Office, thank you for this opportunity. I wish you all much success in your college careers. Hopefully you'll all become Knights, and know that we as Knights here ourselves, we care for all our students, and we wish you all much success. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rick. Financial aid is a very important part of the process in enrolling at UCF, and we appreciate all that you and your team do to provide answers to questions. Your colleagues have been answering the questions in the chat,
Awesome.
so I believe they're about to wrap all of that up. I want to say thanks again for joining us, to you as well as our guests. We are going to take a break from 6 to 7 o'clock. Our next session will be Discover the Majors Part 1, and it will include 3 of the programs at the Rosen College: hospitality management, restaurant and food service management, and senior living management. So those of you students and family that are still in the chat, you're more than welcome to stay in the session. We're going to pause and take a break. We'll come back at 7 o'clock. Or you can leave if you want to and sign back in with the link that you were provided earlier today.